Jordan Belfort didn't just want to be rich, he wanted to own the air you breathe and charge you a commission for it. Most people think they know the story because they saw the movie, but the real-life Wolf makes the Hollywood version look like a Sunday school picnic. We're talking about a man who crashed a 160-foot super yacht into a storm because he was too high to care about drowning, a guy who turned a room full of high school dropouts into millionaires overnight by selling literal garbage as gold, and a man who once crawled through a parking lot like a human slug because he took too many expired Quaaludes. This isn't just a story about the stock market. This is a deep dive into the absolute peak of human greed, drugs, and $100 million in cold, hard cash. If you think you've seen excess, you haven't seen anything yet. Let's get into the raw, uncut reality of the man who broke Wall Street. The birth of a predator, from meat to money. Jordan wasn't born with a silver spoon. He was born with a silver tongue. Long before he was the Wolf, he was driving a refrigerated truck around Long Island, trying to sell steaks and seafood door to door. He was a master of persuasion even then, but the business went belly up. He walked onto Wall Street with nothing but a cheap suit and a desperate hunger. On his very first day at L.F. Rothschild, his mentor sat him down and explained the secret sauce. Nobody knows if a stock is going up, down, or in circles. The goal wasn't to make the clients money. The goal was to keep them on the Ferris wheel by moving their cash from one investment to another, taking a fat commission every single time. When the 1987 crash hit and his firm closed, Jordan didn't panic. He realized he didn't need the big banks. He just needed a phone and a victim. He found a tiny boiler room selling penny stocks for companies that barely existed, and he realized that if you can sell a dream to a man who wants to be rich, you don't need a product. You just need a script. The Stratton Oakmont cult building the army. Jordan didn't hire experienced brokers. He hired young, hungry, and stupid kids. He wanted people who were desperate for a better life and had no moral compass to slow them down. He created a headquarters that felt more like a gladiator pit than an office. He taught these kids the straight-line system, a psychological way of selling those forces a client toward a yes by exploiting their fear of missing out. He turned these teenagers into millionaires overnight. Imagine a 21-year-old who was flipping burgers a month ago suddenly making $30,000 in a single day. That kind of money creates a terrifying level of loyalty. He was their god. He told them that if they worked for him, their problems would vanish. You're unhappy with your life? Get rich. You're unhappy with your car? Get rich. He created an environment where the only thing that mattered was the close. This wasn't a business. It was a high-speed engine designed to transfer wealth from the pockets of hardworking people directly into Jordan's bank account. The pump and dump machine. This is where the actual crime happened. Jordan and his inner circle would find a penny stock, usually a shell company with zero revenue, and buy millions of shares for fractions of a cent. Then, the army of Stratton brokers would hit the phones. They would lie to thousands of investors, claiming they had insider information or that the company was about to cure cancer. As the demand grew, the stock price would skyrocket. Once the price hit its peak, Jordan and his partners would dump their millions of shares all at once. The price would collapse to zero in seconds. The innocent investors, doctors, teachers, and retirees lost everything. Jordan, meanwhile, would walk away with $10 million or $20 million in a single afternoon. It was the ultimate financial heist, performed in broad daylight, using nothing but a telephone. The yacht in the storm. Nothing highlights Jordan's god complex better than the Nadine. This was a 167-foot super yacht originally built for Coco Chanel. Jordan renamed it after his wife and treated it like a toy. In 1996, he was off the coast of Italy. A massive storm hit. The captain told him the waves were 70 feet high and that if they sailed, they would likely die. Jordan, who was reportedly high on a cocktail of drugs, screamed at the captain that he didn't wait for weather. The ship was smashed. The waves broke the windows. The crew had to push Jordan's own helicopter off the deck just to make room for a rescue team. As the ship was literally sinking into the Mediterranean, Jordan wasn't praying. He was allegedly demanding that his bodyguards find his stash of Quaaludes so he wouldn't die sober. He survived, the ship didn't. He just went home and bought a bigger one, the cerebral palsy phase. Then there's the infamous Lamborghini incident. Jordan took some Quaaludes that were so old they had a delayed fuse. He thought they weren't working, so he took more. He was at a country club when they all hit him at once. He lost all motor control. He called it the cerebral palsy phase. He had to crawl on his stomach across the parking lot like a human slug just to get to his white Lamborghini Countach. He somehow got the car home. In his head, he drove perfectly. He woke up the next morning to the FBI at his door. He looked outside and his car was a crumpled mess. He had hit 7 different cars, a mailbox, and a hedge on his way home, and didn't remember a single second of it. The 110 million crash. You can only spit in the face of the government for so long before they bite back. An FBI agent named Gregory Coleman spent years tracking the money. The problem with Jordan wasn't that he was a criminal, it was that he was an egomaniac. He couldn't stop bragging. In 1999, the empire collapsed. He was indicted for securities fraud and money laundering. To save himself from 20 years in prison, the wolf did the unthinkable. He wore a wire. He turned on his own brothers, the people he had spent years telling to never give up. He served 22 months in a minimum security prison. He was ordered to pay $110 million back to his victims. To this day, most of the people who lost their life savings to his pump and dump schemes have never seen their money. Today, Jordan Belfort is a motivational speaker. He teaches ethical selling. He wrote a book that became a blockbuster movie that made him even more famous. The irony is incredible. He spent the 90s stealing from people by selling them garbage stocks. Now he makes millions selling the story of how he stole that money. So, was he a genius who figured out a glitch in the system? Or was he just a high-functioning addict who didn't care who he hurt as long as he had a Ferrari in the driveway? Next time you see a get-rich-quick ad or a stock tip that sounds too good to be true, just remember the wolf. He isn't gone, he just changed his suit. Thanks for watching.